What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Ask a Life Coach, where you ask me your questions and I do my best to answer them. I have no idea what's in the basket today, but let's find out. How can I start exploring what my gender identity / sexual orientation might be? All right, interesting question today. I struggle with this because I feel like there are a lot of labels in society that we put so much significance on, and there's so much pressure maybe to identify in a certain way or pick a certain box. This is who I am, and that's not who I am, and that's not who I am. But as long as I stay in this lane, then I have a label, and then I belong, and then I have a place to be, and that just seems like it could be potentially harmful, because as human beings we're really complex. So I think the first thing to note is that all of the labels are a little bit inaccurate. You'll probably never find a label where you're like, oh yeah, that's exactly me, that's exactly who I am. And even if you did, I think this labeling game can sometimes imply that identity is fixed, when of course this stuff is incredibly fluid and oftentimes really poorly defined as well. So do I gender identify as male? Well, somebody tell me what it means to be male. And I haven't, heard good answers to these kinds of questions yet. Well, I like sports. Does that make me male? Okay, but also I am very empathetic. Does that make me female? And if it's not clear, what we even mean by these terms, then obviously we're asking you to make a really difficult choice. And so I guess what I want to say is, if you don't have to choose, then don't choose. Just be a human and let yourself grow and evolve and express however you will in any moment. Who you're attracted to will change over time, and you can't necessarily predict today who you might be attracted to in the future, and how you want to, identify in terms of gender or express yourself. Some days you might have a lot of masculine energy. Some days you might have a lot of feminine energy. Many days you'll probably have a balance, because hello, we're humans, right? We all have balance. So, wear what you want to wear, be with who you want to be with, but when we're asked to label ourselves or identify in such a way that is making predictions about how we'll be or who we might be attracted to in the future, I feel like that's potentially problematic, because it implies that we know more about the future than we do. So if you can take the weight of the future off of yourself and just be now, right? Whether or not you have a label, just again, be how you want to be now. Be with who you might want to be with now. Go through life with curiosity. Treat this as an adventure and an exploration, and take some of that pressure off, because I think there can be so much pressure. Just, who am I and what does that mean? Well, you aren't something that can be reduced to labels. You're infinitely more complex than that. So I guess that's what I want to say is, where's the pressure for labels coming from? Can you relieve some of that pressure and just go through life exploring however that might be? Listen to yourself, more so than listening to other people. You can't probably think your way in and out of this. Anytime you need inner guidance, find some peace, find some quiet, listen to your intuition. But also, sometimes the stakes seem so high when we talk gender identity and sexual orientation, and there's really no reason for them to be. Oh, I'm in this category. Oh, I'm in that category. Again, you're allowed to be a human. This is going to change over time. So by all means, experiment, explore, try things, but just don't feel like this is so rigid and you have to put yourself in a box and then you have to stay in that box. I think that's just no good for any of us. So I don't know, I kind of dodged the question a little bit there, but I do feel passionately about, freedom requiring not restricting ourselves. Because if you do decide, I don't know, insert label here, Sometimes that can feel really comforting because you feel like, okay, now I know who I belong with and now I know what I am. But again, you can never really be reduced to that either. And so if labeling yourself limits your ability to do something else in the future, then I would be hesitant. Otherwise, of course, just, try some on and see what fits. And if you feel good about it, good. But as always, remain open, remain flexible, and remain aware that today is not tomorrow. So the future may change, and that is absolutely 100% okay. A great question on a great topic. I hope that some of that was helpful. I appreciate you submitting it. I appreciate you all tuning in and listening. And as always, I'll see you back here for the next one.